My name is Aaron Cash, former guard at Arkham Asylum, survivor of the Great Arkham City War between Harley Quinn and Two-Face. To anyone who might hear this, know that I was a first-hand witness to the insanity that's been happening over the past 2 years. I suppose I should start at the beginning. 3 years ago today, we were working the asylum as usual. Maximum security for Gotham's criminals. This included many of the supervillains we'd housed thanks to the Batman. We're still not sure how it happened, and I have a bad feeling we're still yet to find out, but someone had removed Killer Croc's dampening collar. And soon my brothers were torn to pieces as the prisoners let loose. Soon the Justice League arrived to help, including Batman. Some of us died, but the baddies were back in their cells, all except one. The iron walls, used as a built-in security measure, became a prison for us. Joker had developed a face blindness gas, making us lost and confused, unable to tell one another apart, trapped in a maze with villains who knew what was going on. Batman and the others tried their best to save us, but so many died that day. Joker, Riddler, Poison Ivy, and Victor Zsasz were all finally taken care of, but we also lost Bruce, Dick, Tim, Jim Gordon, Oliver Queen, and John Jones were also lost. Two-Face, Catwoman, and myself were the only survivors. Two-Face destroyed the city. Selina slinked into a dark corner, filled with regret, but then something peculiar happened. 2 years later, my life in shambles, I get a knock at the door, and it was Barbara Gordon, Alfred Pennyworth, and Damian Wayne, two of whom I know have died in the Arkham disaster. They told me there was something more sinister going on here, and it confirmed so many bad things that I'd been feeling in the back of my mind. First of all, I could never accept that Joker so willingly went into the oblivion. Second, Superman himself said he was afraid of Bruce. My gut has been screaming at me for years that there was no way he was undone by a stupid mental trap by the Joker. It just didn't add up. But now I'm seeing resurrected corpses. It never made sense to me why Alfred and Oracle were even at Arkham that night. The Justice League and Bat family had been there to quell the threat, but these two should have been in the Batcave. That's when Barbara confirmed it for me. Apparently Dick Grayson was alive too, though he'd mostly hung up his suit and became a shut-in. She hadn't been Oracle for years. The Barbara, Alfred, and Dick Grayson that died in the Arkham disaster were plants from another Earth, something that was the expertise of JLA member Barry Allen, aka The Flash. With few other exceptions, you needed to be a speedster to cross worlds. All we knew is that Joker was likely just a pawn in whatever game this was, and whoever was really behind it all was smart enough to eliminate Bruce, exposing his life to the world, destroying Wayne Enterprises, Wayne Manor, and the estate in the process. Jim, Tim, Oliver, and John really were gone, too. Alfred then flew us to downtown Gotham, which had earned the nickname Arkham City because of how lawless it had become in the wake of Batman and Jim Gordon being gone. The police were even more corrupt than in years prior, if that was possible. After Gordon's death, he was replaced by Police Commissioner Craig Hollenbeck, a ruthless, cruel man who had no interest in the kind of peace Jim had been building. I couldn't tell if he was involved at all, or at what level. All I knew is that he'd let Gotham go to shit. Two-Face had formed a criminal mafia alongside several of the escaped inmates of Arkham. Not wanting to lose out on his turf, Penguin decided to take action. He turned to a newly grieving Harley Quinn, letting her run the show as a figurehead and spiritual successor to the Joker, while he ran the criminal enterprise behind the scenes. When Alfred finally landed us in the city, we had one clear goal: capture Harvey Dent alive, the only living witness of the Arkham disaster who might have any clue what the plan with the interdimensional plants might be. Unfortunately for us, a street war between Quinn and Dent was about to ensue beneath us, and we were stuck in the crossfire. Hollenbeck launched Wayne Tech built electromagnetic gates, which created a sort of ring around 6 blocks of the city. He somehow acquired leftover Joker serum from the asylum. Then he just slowly shrunk the Wayne Tech barrier, which would fry you upon contact, and let the confused rabble destroy themselves. In that second disaster, I lost Alfred and Barbara for a second time. Bruce's son Damian died. Laurel Lance, aka Black Canary, a JLA member looking to avenge Oliver Queen, also died. Notably, Selina Kyle, siding with us this time, likely out of pure guilt, also lost her life. The Commissioner's plan was ruthlessly successful. Two-Face died in the streets of Gotham, and our only link to the grander plot was gone. Scarecrow, Killer Croc, Harley Quinn, Penguin, and Mr. Freeze also all perished. As bloody and horrific as the plan was, Commissioner Hollenbeck was getting results. We'd pinned down the last villain in the circle, hoping it would save us from these Hunger Games. It was Dr. Thomas Elliot, aka Hush, a man obsessed with Bruce Wayne. If someone helped these villains discover Bruce's identity and how to plant people close to him in the asylum, Hush was a very good suspect. Before we could ask him anything, however, there was an enormous burst of red light, and everyone was gone. The Wayne Tech barriers dropped, and the police came to clean up the mess. Again, I found myself still breathing, alongside a few survivors, specifically Ray Palmer, aka the Atom, and Barry Allen, the only 2 JLA members on this mission who lived to tell the tale. While they handedly escaped, I was left with a few others to be taken away into questioning. Now, 2 weeks later, this is where I sat, in a cell, No idea where I was, left to ponder the inner workings of the GCPD. Apparently the fact that I'm a cop meant nothing to them, and strange reports were happening. I could hear them talking about it. Batman had seemingly returned to Gotham, but Bruce was dead. Ugh, what the? I have no idea what's happening. There's red lights everywhere. When? Barry?
There's no time. I need you to grab my hand.
What?
Now!
And so I did. We went hurtling through time and space. I was somehow aware of it, but it all occurred at a fraction of a second. Barry was helping me to escape, but not right after. Something knocked Barry away, and I went to the ground with a hard thud. There I saw them. Barry and a menacing yellow figure, cloaked in red lightning. Barry must have known who he was, because he seemed scared. I knew Barry, and he was scared.
Well, look who it is. I'm sorry, Barry, but now that Bruce is out of the way, things are about to change.
I won't let you do this, Thawne.
Oh, but you will.
The ground reverberated at such a pace it was indescribable. The closest I could come is 10 earthquakes on top of one another. Barry and this man started fighting, and that's when I saw them in the distance. Help. Superman, Wonder Woman, there were others too, but I couldn't make them out. My vision was going blurry, and then, as if all time had stopped, I awoke in a windless, plain vacuum. Lights of pink and orange surrounded me as vague, half-rendered buildings hung hauntingly in the air. That's when I noticed I wasn't alone. 20 others stood in the void next to me. I quickly grew scared and my breath fast, because I couldn't recognize any of them. I'd just a moment ago seen Superman. Was this some sort of advanced Joker serum or something? Where the hell are we? In response, an enormous, booming voice I recognized as Barry's loomed.
We're in the Speed Force.
We were in the Speed Force, a senseless, faceless prison, and that's when we knew. I don't know how to explain it. No one said anything. No one had moved a muscle, but instantly, we knew. This was a final opportunity to not only save Gotham, but potentially the entire multiverse. We could expunge people from the Speed Force, leaving them to be torn from reality and existence. This was the fight where the world as it would be looked at from that day forward would be forged. This Thawne wants the world. While I felt helpless and ignorant at the first two disasters, this time, we're gonna do something.